Back in the glittering golden age of Hollywood, stars lived larger than life, fame, fortune, and forbidden habits. But behind the red carpets and camera flashes were secrets few dared to whisper. Today, we're revealing 15 classic Hollywood stars who were notorious stoners, shocking addictions that almost ruined their careers. Errol Flynn, the wildest stoner of classic Hollywood. Errol Flynn was more than just the swashbuckling hero of the adventures of Robin Hood, he was Hollywood's ultimate bad boy. Behind his charming smile and daring roles, Flynn lived a life of scandal, parties, and endless smoke. His Beverly Hills mansion became the hub of wild nights filled with music, alcohol, and clouds of marijuana. Friends described him as unstoppable, a man who thrived on danger both on and off screen. In an era when drugs were taboo, Flynn made no secret of his habits. His reputation as a womanizer and stoner made him both feared and admired in Hollywood's elite circles. Even arrests and public scandals couldn't dull his star power. To fans, he was a legend; to the industry, a warning, proof that fame, freedom, and forbidden pleasure often came at a heavy price during the golden age of Hollywood. Judy Garland, the tragic stoner behind the smile. Judy Garland, the beloved star of The Wizard of Oz, lived a life far darker than her on-screen magic. From a young age, MGM Studios controlled every aspect of her life, forcing her onto dangerous diets and giving her pep pills to stay awake. As her fame grew, so did her dependency. In private, Judy turned to marijuana and pills just to find peace and sleep after exhausting studio hours. Her gentle laugh and bright eyes masked deep pain and loneliness. Friends later revealed that smoking helped her escape the pressure of being America's sweetheart. But the cost was tragic: her health declined, her voice weakened, and her personal life shattered. Judy's story remains one of Hollywood's saddest examples of how early stardom and addiction collided, leaving behind a legacy of beauty, pain, and lost innocence in the golden age of Hollywood. Robert Mitchum, Hollywood's fearless stoner rebel. Robert Mitchum was one of the few golden age stars bold enough to admit his love for marijuana, even when it could destroy his career. Known for his rugged charm and sleepy-eyed cool, Mitchum often played tough guys on screen, but off-screen, he was even tougher. In 1948, he was arrested during a marijuana raid in Los Angeles, shocking the entire film industry. Instead of denying it, Mitchum faced the scandal with his trademark smirk, saying, "It's just a minor adventure." The media expected his downfall, but audiences loved his honesty and rebellious attitude. After serving time, he bounced back stronger, becoming one of Hollywood's most respected actors. His defiance made him a cult icon, a man who lived by his own rules. Robert Mitchum proved that not even a marijuana scandal could silence a true Hollywood legend during its most glamorous era. Ava Gardner, the seductive stoner of classic Hollywood. Ava Gardner was the definition of beauty, danger, and rebellion rolled into one irresistible package. Known for her fiery personality and stunning looks, Ava didn't just captivate audiences, she captivated entire generations. Behind the glamour, though, she lived a turbulent life filled with wild parties, heartbreak, and hidden habits. Friends often recalled that Ava used marijuana to calm her nerves before intense film shoots or during her stormy relationship with Frank Sinatra. She was outspoken, bold, and unapologetically free in an era when women were expected to play by Hollywood's rules. While studios tried to tame her image, Ava refused to conform. Her smoky laugh, whiskey voice, and fearless attitude made her a legend both on and off screen. Even today, Ava Gardner stands as a symbol of old Hollywood's untamed spirit, a beauty who smoked, loved, and lived entirely on her own terms. Cary Grant, the gentleman stoner of Hollywood. Cary Grant was the picture of elegance, handsome, charming, and always in control. But behind that perfect image was a man curious about life's hidden sides. During the Golden Age, Grant quietly experimented with marijuana and other substances, believing they helped him open his mind and understand himself better. Unlike many stars, his approach wasn't wild or reckless, it was spiritual. He saw marijuana as a way to relax between grueling film schedules and to escape Hollywood's pressure to stay flawless. His private parties were discreet, attended by artists and thinkers who shared his curiosity about life beyond fame. Despite whispers in the industry, Grant's image as the ultimate gentleman never faded. He continued to dazzle audiences while living life on his own terms. Cary Grant remains proof that even the most polished stars of classic Hollywood had their own secret vices hidden behind that perfect smile. Marlon Brando, the rebel stoner of old Hollywood. Marlon Brando wasn't just a movie star, he was a revolution. Known for his raw intensity and unpredictable nature, Brando lived far from Hollywood's polished perfection. Behind the scenes, he often turned to marijuana to quiet his restless mind and escape the industry's fake glamour. Friends described him as a deep thinker who used weed to spark creativity and cope with emotional chaos. Brando's rebellious spirit extended beyond his films. He defied directors, refused fake publicity, and lived by his own code. His private life was filled with passionate affairs, late-night conversations, and smoky rooms where ideas flowed as freely as the smoke itself. Despite his habits, Brando's genius never faded, it only made him more complex. The world remembers him not just as the Godfather but as Hollywood's ultimate rebel, a man who dared to live, think, and smoke differently. Tallulah Bankhead, the wild queen of smoke and scandal. Tallulah Bankhead was Hollywood's original wild child, bold, scandalous, and completely unfiltered. Known for her husky voice and razor-sharp wit, she ruled the 1930s and 40s with a cocktail in one hand and a cigarette, or sometimes a joint, in the other. Unlike most stars who hid their vices, Tallulah flaunted hers proudly. She was notorious for her outrageous parties, where alcohol and marijuana flowed freely among the elite. Bankhead once joked, "I'm as pure as the driven slush." That line perfectly captured her fearless attitude toward Hollywood's moral codes. Directors adored her talent but feared her unpredictability. She could show up late, stoned, and still deliver a flawless performance. Her love for danger and indulgence made her both loved and feared. Tallulah Bankhead wasn't just a stoner, she was a force of nature, unapologetic, untamed, and unforgettable in every sense. Paul Newman, the coolest stoner of classic Hollywood. Paul Newman had the looks of an angel and the attitude of a rebel. With those piercing blue eyes and effortless charm, he became a Hollywood icon, but behind that calm exterior was a man who enjoyed life's quiet highs. Close friends revealed that Newman occasionally used marijuana to unwind between shoots or during long racing weekends. Unlike Hollywood's reckless party crowd, Paul kept things classy and controlled. Weed, for him, was a way to relax his mind after intense filming and fame's endless pressure. His cool, laid-back energy on screen wasn't just acting, it reflected his real-life calmness. Even as he became one of the most respected actors and philanthropists in the industry, Paul Newman never lost touch with his human side. In an age of chaos and excess, he proved you could be both a Hollywood legend and a chill, grounded stoner at heart. Rita Hayworth, the heartbroken stoner of Hollywood. Rita Hayworth, the dazzling redhead who defined Hollywood glamour, lived a life that sparkled on screen but shattered behind the scenes. Known as the love goddess, she seemed perfect, but fame brought her endless pain. After years of pressure, heartbreak, and failed marriages, Rita quietly turned to marijuana to calm her anxiety and escape sleepless nights. Friends said she used it as a gentle refuge from the constant cameras and controlling studios. Despite her struggles, Rita remained the picture of grace, hiding her sorrow behind a radiant smile and sultry performances. Her beauty was unmatched, yet she longed for peace more than applause. The world adored her, but few knew the sadness she carried. Rita Hayworth's story is a haunting reminder that even the brightest stars of old Hollywood sometimes needed a quiet smoke to survive the loneliness of fame's cruel spotlight. James Dean, the rebel stoner without a cause. James Dean was the symbol of rebellion, young, restless, and untamed. His short life burned bright, leaving behind only 3 films and an immortal legend. Off-screen, Dean was just as wild as his characters. He lived fast, loved deeply, and wasn't afraid to experiment. Friends and fellow actors revealed that he often smoked marijuana to relax and escape the chaos of fame. It helped him think, dream, and reflect on life's deeper meaning. Dean's artistic soul craved freedom, and we became part of his creative ritual. He was drawn to the bohemian lifestyle, jazz, poetry, philosophy, and long nights filled with smoke and ideas. Sadly, his life ended too soon in a car crash at just 24, freezing his image as Hollywood's eternal rebel. James Dean remains the ultimate symbol of youthful defiance, a stoner, dreamer, and icon who lived life with no apologies. Jean Harlow, the hidden stoner behind the platinum glamour. Jean Harlow, Hollywood's original, blonde bombshell, defined beauty and sensuality in the 1930s. Her platinum hair and seductive charm made her a global icon, but behind the glitter was a fragile woman trapped by fame. Under constant studio pressure, Harlow sought quiet escape in private gatherings where she could relax, laugh, and smoke away her stress. Close friends whispered that she occasionally used marijuana to ease her anxiety and insomnia caused by grueling filming schedules. Though she was marketed as pure Hollywood perfection, Jean lived with deep loneliness and exhaustion. Her short life was marked by heartbreak and illness, and she passed away tragically at just 26. Yet her legacy still shines, not just as a beauty, but as a woman who tried to find peace in a world that demanded too much. Jean Harlow remains one of old Hollywood's most mysterious, misunderstood stars. Peter O'Toole, the charming wild stoner of the silver screen. Peter O'Toole brought fire and brilliance to every role he played, from Lawrence of Arabia to his many stage triumphs. But off-screen, he lived a life of pure chaos and charm. Known for his love of whiskey, wild storytelling, and marijuana, O'Toole embodied the untamed spirit of old-school Hollywood rebels. He often joked that creativity needed a bit of smoke and madness, and his late-night parties were legendary among actors and artists. Those who knew him said he could drink, smoke, and still deliver a flawless performance the next morning. O'Toole never cared for Hollywood's image of perfection, he believed life was meant to be lived loudly. Even as his wild habits aged him fast, his charisma never faded. Peter O'Toole wasn't just an actor, he was a living storm of talent, vice, and charm, forever remembered as Hollywood's brilliant, high-spirited stoner.